Jewish-Roman Wars, a chronicle of defiance and devastation. The Jewish-Roman Wars were a series of fierce and tragic conflicts between the Jewish population of Judea and the might of the Roman Empire. Spanning from 66 CE to 136 CE, these wars not only reshaped Jewish history, but also left an indelible mark on the Roman Empire. They consisted of three significant uprisings: the First Jewish-Roman War, 66 to 73 CE, the Kitos War, 115 to 117 CE, and the Bar Kokhba Revolt, 132 to 136 CE. Each of these wars was fueled by a mix of religious fervor, nationalistic zeal, and the oppressive policies of Roman rule. Background: Judea under Roman rule. The roots of the Jewish-Roman Wars can be traced back to 63 BCE, when the Roman general Pompey the Great annexed Judea during his eastern campaigns. Judea became a client kingdom under the Roman Republic, and its autonomy was gradually eroded over the decades. By 6 CE, it was incorporated as a Roman province and placed under the administration of Roman governors or prefects who were often indifferent to Jewish religious customs. The Roman governors imposed heavy taxes and introduced practices that clashed with Jewish beliefs, such as the worship of Roman gods. In particular, acts like the placement of imperial standards in Jerusalem and the introduction of pagan symbols into Jewish holy sites caused deep resentment. This was exacerbated by economic hardship and the exploitation of Jewish farmers and traders by corrupt officials. The First Jewish-Roman War, 66 to 73 CE. The spark of rebellion. The First Jewish-Roman War, also known as the Great Revolt, began in 66 CE. The immediate cause was the growing tensions between the Jewish population and the Roman authorities. The final spark was lit when the Roman governor Gessius Florus confiscated vast amounts of treasure from the temple in Jerusalem, claiming it as unpaid taxes. His blatant disregard for Jewish customs and the brutal suppression of protests led to widespread outrage. In response, Jewish rebels launched an uprising, expelling Roman forces from Jerusalem and capturing the strategic fortress of Masada. The revolt quickly spread across Judea, with various factions, such as the Zealots and the Sicarii, rising to challenge Roman rule. Rome's counteroffensive. The Roman Emperor Nero dispatched his most trusted general, Vespasian, to crush the rebellion. Vespasian, along with his son Titus, led a disciplined and methodical campaign to reclaim Judea. The Romans began by isolating the rebels, capturing Galilean strongholds one by one. The Jewish historian Josephus, who initially fought against the Romans, was captured and later became a chronicler of the war. By 68 CE, the Roman forces had retaken most of Judea. However, the rebellion's heart still beat strong in Jerusalem, where the rebels fortified themselves in preparation for a final confrontation. The Siege of Jerusalem, 70 CE. The pivotal moment of the war was the Siege of Jerusalem, one of the most brutal and tragic episodes in ancient history. After Nero's death in 68 CE, Vespasian returned to Rome to secure the imperial throne, leaving the campaign in the hands of his son Titus. Titus led 4 legions to encircle Jerusalem, cutting off supplies to the city. Inside the city, the situation was dire. Famine, disease, and internal strife among Jewish factions weakened the defenders. Despite their hardships, the Jewish fighters displayed remarkable courage, repelling multiple Roman assaults. In August 70 CE, the Romans breached the city's defenses. The Second Temple, the most sacred site in Judaism, was set ablaze and destroyed. The loss of the temple was a devastating blow to Jewish identity and culture. The Fall of Masada, 73 CE. The final phase of the First Jewish-Roman War occurred at the fortress of Masada, where the Sicarii rebels made their last stand. After a lengthy siege, Roman forces constructed a massive ramp to breach the fortress. When the Romans entered Masada, they found that the rebels had chosen death over surrender, committing mass suicide. The Kitos War, 115 to 117 CE. A wider conflict. The Kitos War erupted during the reign of Emperor Trajan, nearly 40 years after the Great Revolt. This conflict was not confined to Judea, but spread across the Roman provinces of Cyrene, Cyprus, and Egypt, where significant Jewish populations resided. The Kitos War was less about direct rebellion in Judea and more about widespread Jewish uprisings against Roman oppression. The causes: the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE left the Jewish diaspora scattered and embittered. Roman policies in the eastern provinces, including heavy taxation and forced Romanization, further inflamed tensions. In 115 CE, as Trajan launched his campaign against the Parthian Empire, Jewish communities saw an opportunity to rebel. The uprisings. The uprisings began in Cyrene, modern-day Libya, where Jewish rebels, led by a charismatic leader named Lucuas, attacked Roman settlements, massacring Roman citizens and destroying infrastructure. The revolt spread to Cyprus and Egypt, where similar uprisings occurred. Roman retaliation. The Roman response was swift and brutal. Trajan dispatched experienced generals, including Lucius Quietus, to suppress the uprisings. Roman legions crushed the rebels, killing tens of thousands and depopulating entire regions. By 117 CE, the revolts were quelled, but the devastation left the eastern provinces in ruins. The Bar Kokhba Revolt, 132 to 136 CE. The final rebellion. The Bar Kokhba Revolt was the last and most ambitious attempt to overthrow Roman rule and restore Jewish sovereignty. It was sparked by Emperor Hadrian's policies, which many Jews saw as an affront to their religion and culture. Hadrian's decision to build a Roman city, Aelia Capitolina, on the ruins of Jerusalem, along with a temple to Jupiter on the site of the destroyed Second Temple, provoked outrage. His ban on circumcision, a core Jewish practice, further alienated the Jewish population. Simon Bar Kokhba, the Messiah. The revolt was led by Simon Bar Kokhba, a charismatic leader who was hailed by many Jews as the Messiah. Bar Kokhba's forces launched a well-organized campaign, initially achieving significant victories. They captured Jerusalem and established an independent Jewish state, minting coins and administering their own government. Rome's counteroffensive. Emperor Hadrian responded by sending his most capable general, Julius Severus, to crush the rebellion. Severus employed a scorched earth strategy, systematically destroying rebel strongholds and starving the population into submission. The final battle took place at Bitar, a heavily fortified city and the heart of Bar Kokhba's resistance. In 135 CE, Roman forces breached Bitar's defenses, killing Bar Kokhba and tens of thousands of his followers. Devastation and diaspora. The aftermath of the Bar Kokhba revolt was catastrophic for the Jewish people. Hadrian ordered the complete depopulation of Judea, renaming the province Syria Palestina to erase its Jewish identity. Jews were banned from entering Jerusalem, now a Roman city. The revolt marked the end of Jewish political autonomy for nearly 2 millennia. Consequences of the Jewish-Roman Wars. Loss of life and destruction. The wars resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Jews and the destruction of major cities, including Jerusalem. The Jewish population in Judea was drastically reduced, with many sold into slavery. The Jewish diaspora. The wars led to the scattering of the Jewish people across the Roman Empire and beyond, marking the beginning of the Jewish diaspora. This dispersion profoundly influenced Jewish culture and religion. Rise of Rabbinic Judaism. With the destruction of the Second Temple, Judaism transformed. The temple-centered rituals were replaced by rabbinic teachings, focusing on Torah study and synagogue worship. Roman policy changes. The wars highlighted the challenges of governing a diverse empire. While Rome suppressed Jewish revolts with brutal efficiency, it also became more cautious in handling religious minorities in other regions. Legacy of the Jewish-Roman Wars. The Jewish-Roman Wars were a testament to the resilience and determination of the Jewish people. Despite the overwhelming power of Rome, the Jewish population fought courageously to preserve their identity and faith. These wars also serve as a reminder of the devastating consequences of oppression and the enduring human desire for freedom and self-determination. The impact of these conflicts continues to be felt in modern times, shaping Jewish history, identity, and the broader narrative of resistance against tyranny.